hard to avoid all that stuff about defects in apartment buildings in the media these days. If you're finding it all a bit confusing, you're not alone. Let's ask someone who knows about the most common kinds of defects in apartment buildings and what they could mean for you as a new owner. With all the talk about defects in apartment buildings, what should a buyer be looking for?
So normally when you buy a house, you would often get a building inspection done to check on the condition of the house, so you know if you're going to have to carry out repairs. With units, the owners' corporation's under an obligation to maintain the common property, and it should be aware of any problems that there are. So I would recommend getting a pre-purchase strata inspection. One of the things you would look at is the minutes of general meetings and committee meetings for the last 2 or 3 years, and if there are any defects there, you should know what they are by looking at the minutes of those meetings. They should have been discussed there. The other thing that purchasers need to be aware of is special levies. If a special levy is struck to fix defects, if it's struck before the date of the contract, normally the vendor is liable for it. If it's struck after exchange, then the purchaser is liable. So the purchaser has to be careful. If there are defects that the owners' corporation is aware of and it might strike a levy, that is something that a purchaser should definitely take into account.
What are the major defects that can cost a lot of money?
So cladding is certainly one of the major defects that's been in the news a lot lately. All different types of water ingress tend to be expensive to rectify because they usually involve demolition. Anything else involving demolition to rectify it, which might be the floors or the ceiling that you need to pull out to get to the defect, and any defect that involves a person moving out so that the owners' corporation can have access to their unit.
And which of these are the most common?
It'll be a recurring theme, but I'll come back to waterproofing as the most common that we have to deal with.
Okay, great. Thank you. Buying an apartment is very different to buying a house. As an apartment owner, you will become part of the owner's corporation. The owner's corporation is responsible for the upkeep of the building and all its facilities. And this is what your levies will pay for. Our experts' top tips to help guide your decisions are: check out the whole building, see how well cared for it is, understand the bylaws, they'll tell you what you can and cannot do. Find out what's been going on, a strata search will tell you about problems. Look at the financials, understand if the building has adequate funds. Investigate defects, you're looking to see if there's anything seriously wrong. Hope that's been really helpful to you.